Indonesian. So he wanted to live rich and he wanted his business to be better or be good. I don't know. So he actually sell his soul to the devil, but in return, there must be a person die for him once a year.
I think just now when I remember when you talk about black magic, all this, I wasn't really sure whether my family like got it, like it was like being sense of uh black magic ke apa kan. But the what is our understanding will be possessed lah. It's something that we know and we see in our extended family members lah. Yeah, I'm sure some people also encounter because this thing about possess, I can be also a bit confused between whether you really kena possessed with an entity that you can no longer take control of your own state of mind, or you actually have a mental health condition altogether. So this thing a bit clueless lah. I mean, there's no explanation now because yeah. Sorry, what you want to say?
Okay, talking about this, it happened to a family that I know. Okay, to a family that I know. So, actually, it happened to one of my auntie lah, auntie family. I had her husband. Okay, her husband was a very hardworking man. Okay, my uncle lah, and he's very very hardworking, helpful, and also he's the kind that very cheerful. Whenever like cousins or niece or nephews will come by, and he will like, "Hey, how are you? How's your studies?" and all those stuff. He's those kind of like when he knows you, he will talk to you lah. But if he doesn't really know you, he will just he's kind of an introvert. You are an introvert, extrovert, that kind. Okay, so it happened quite 4 or 5 years back. It happened when one night my auntie actually woke up by a black figure. I think she says like it's the size of okay, if you own a 4-room BTO flat, your room that curtain, that window is that big, that kind of width and height of a black figure. Okay, I think around 2 meter height and width. I think 3 meter. Okay, I'm not sure. So it was that kind of black figure that was on top of her when she woke up, and she cannot even breathe. She cannot even call anyone. She cannot even shout. Okay, she was and she was breathless. She can't talk. She can't help. Ask for help. She can't shout. It happened for like a minute or so. Okay, so after that, the next day, her husband was sitting at the edge of their bed. Okay, facing the window, and then for no reason, all of a sudden he screamed. He screamed. He just like that. I'm just scream. So my auntie was like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you shouting?" Macam mak dia macam, you what kenapa? Something like that. So what's wrong with you? But he didn't respond. He just continued staring, shouting. Okay. So after that, she went out. She gave him a glass of water. But this thing keep occurring for a few nights, and there was a night where he also saw a black figure in their room, but that thing didn't possess him, but the thing was like macam getting nearer and nearer to him. So they decided to call my another auntie, which stay a few blocks away lah. So she came down, and then she also macam baca-baca and all those stuff. Macam yalah, kita Islam kan percaya itu no azan lah, apa trying to make things good, macam buka ayat kursi, ayat yasin and all those stuff. And then because it was midnight that time, so when my another auntie went back home, tak ada bus kan, there's no bus available, so she walked back home because it was a few blocks away. She all of a sudden felt like there's something heavy on her right shoulder, but I guess she knows that it's that thing that she actually kind of like halau. So she felt really heavy, but she ignored. She just walk. So, you know, like macam Melayu cakap, dia dah pagar di rumah tu. Okay. So, she went home. She took water and salt. You know, the spray plant kind of thing. So she took that. She actually sprayed at her door. And then when she turned, she saw a face that is very, very familiar to her. Okay, it's someone that is close to my auntie husband. Okay, it's someone that is very close to him. But she's not shocked because she knows that there was some dispute going on between that person and my uncle. But we know who sent it. Okay, in a way kita tahu siapa yang hantar this thing. In this situation is orang hantar lah dekat dia. I guess because of the dispute that they had in the past. So this thing was being thrown to him lah. So from that day onwards, after that particular night, he sat at he sat anywhere, close any chair or at the edge of the bed or anything, and then he would like tell the wife macam, there's somebody there looking. There's somebody there looking at me. So, because he actually closed everything in the house. He closed the curtain, and then he closed the window. Everything he closed. So it was really dark. So my auntie asked him like, what's wrong with you? Why do you close? Why do you close everything? So he says that there's someone looking. And he kept repeating that there's someone looking, someone looking. So after a month or so, he was diagnosed with depression lah. But I don't really know whether is it his mental health condition that makes him saying all these things, or it really happens, you know. Because not only my uncle felt that I had that kind of incident. Of course, my uncle one is like macam it recurs. It was it occurs every or quite often lah. But my auntie also felt for that one time, you know, that once off time, that once off thing, macam kind of thing. So yeah, but until now lah, he's like macam I think it's been 3 years So he's like not being him He's just like macam, you know, when he look at us, when we visit him, he's like, he just smile, and then he just sit at one side, and then he just like as if he doesn't know us like that lah.
Yeah, I think it's a very tricky situation because it's very hard to identify it in kata orang in a very visual or like immediately you can diagnose this person have a disease. You know, you can, when you scan or x-ray, you can see through. And talking about supernatural things or black magic is unseen. You know, the worst is if someone is not happy to you and they use this kind of thing to send it to you rather than being confronted lah, talk about it lah. So this is dangerous if you ever offended people lah. Yeah, so that's something that everyone should avoid, to offend people, and the fact that this thing still exists
Yeah,
So
sometimes it's, you know, like you say, like offended or maybe like jealousy like all this thing is it's not a good thing lah. Why would you want to, you know, send something like that to people? Like it's, and it actually it's not that they can recover like there and there, you know. It's like it took them years to actually recover from it, and sometimes it took more than, you know, a year, 2 years, 3 years. So it's kind of sad but scary lah at the same time for me.
Yeah, the fact that in Indonesia, it is part of a culture. Meaning to say, if you're not happy about something, this is the easiest way to get back to that person that you're not happy with. It can be as simple as like they make you sick, or they just gonna scare you off by sending you all the different entities all together and let you see, and you know, when you scare off your life and maybe you got a bit crazy, it's just gonna drive you crazy somehow lah. Or the worst scenario, they send you to be dead. Yeah, so that's very extreme, and there's different level lah. The fact that the more you want to feel the power, or especially if you want the other person dead, there's something in exchange for you to what? I forget balik ah.
Yeah, you remember the incident at Batam? There was a time where there was a time where me, her husband, and we have a friend lah. We, four of us, we went to Batam. So we were about to get our breakfast. So after that, there was 2 lanes. Okay, there was one going this way, another one going the other way. Okay, so there was a divider in between of the road, and then it came to a point where we were all looking outside the car because there were so many people in the middle of the road. There were so many people in the middle of the divider, and then we were wondering like, why there were so many people? And there was a car. It was being turned like a turtle. So and then we decided to ask the driver. Actually, it's not a driver. Like, it was our friend's friend, our acquaintance, our friend's friend. So and then he's from Indonesia, so he says that I will tell you later. I don't dare to tell you now. So we're like, why? Okay. So we had our breakfast. We were sitting down and chit-chatting, and then actually that thing was still on my mind. And then I was like, I was asking him. I asked him what happened back there just now. Actually, because the thing is that when there's accident, it's either you bang the divider or you bang someone in front or you bang the car or the motorcycle, but there was no other vehicles being involved, and he didn't even bang the divider. It's just that his car was turned like a turtle. Okay, so I was very curious. I was like, why there's no casualties and stuff? And he actually said that he asked us, do you all saw the big house in front of where the incident was? So after that we was like, yeah, we did so. And then he says, you saw how big his house is? Like it's like a field of a football. It's like a football field lah. So we're like, yeah. So apparently, he says that the one that lived there is a Chinese Indonesian. So he wanted to live rich, and he wanted his business to be better or be good. I don't know. So he actually sell his soul to the devil, but in return, there must be a person die for him once a year. So there must be a person die for him once a year, for the devil once a year. So whoever that's unlucky that passed by or was driving by that house will die. Eventually will die. Because my question to him was like, there's no accident involving any other vehicles. There's no accident involving about him hitting the divider. His car was just turning turtle just like that. Like there's no other explanation going on. So I was curious, but I didn't thought about him selling his soul to the devil. So, and then we all get to know. And then when driving back, we told him that, can we don't drive back to the same route? Can we like go to another route? And say, okay, so we drive back to another route.
Yeah, so I think that incident is like more of a sacrifice. So if you want to live rich all this and you have kind of like perjanjian with the devils, then that will be in exchange of a soul lah. And the poor thing is those are innocent people altogether. It just so happened you came across to that area which is almost like prohibited, the red zone area, and no one knows because it's open to anyone who just wanna drive there, and it's a very heavy traffic, and there's no way can got into accidents because of riding too fast around. There's no way. So when it happened, when the car flipped, and why that's the question, and the big why lah. How come it can be like that state? And it's scary lah to know that this thing also can bring into business lah. Yeah, you want to make better profits. All these is involve all these mysterious things. So I believe not only about big profit or big businesses. I'm sure small stall. I also ever heard this kind of stories lah. Like orang nak laku kan, they want their shop to be like making a lot of profit and sellable kan in their food. So they either put something in it, or they have something that they place in the shop that will attract many people to go there. And whoever right next to their stall will be unseen, like invisible. Only their shop is the main attraction, and everyone just want to go and queue there. Yeah, so it happens also. Hi. Yeah, people. I wasn't sure in our modern life now, like this thing have like uh cease or like reduce lah. But I know that if there's anything happen, if someone encounters such a thing, right, there is a help lah. Mm.
There is. But I think even though how modern our life is now, I guess there's a thing called turun menurun from generation to generation. So I guess it doesn't stop, even though macam we are in the 21st century. As long as there's like generation to generation, people will still use it. So it's kind of scary actually. It's really scary.
Yeah, and when talking about possess, sometimes also we don't want it, and it just happened to us because of the forbidden areas. If I could also recall this one incident, that time I was working as a kendarat lah. They call it the wedding event waitress or waiters. So after that and whole event, and we decided to have like team or staff retreat lah. But there's only small group of us, like maybe perhaps a 10 of us. So my bosses decided that let's celebrate at Changi Beach lah. So as you know, Changi Beach area is quite um how to say, there's some areas that don't go there after 7 lah. Yeah, you can be there during the day, and whatever is there, don't pick anyhow. And if especially if you saw there's a tree with nails and some color of cloth or what, don't even think about pulling the nail off, because there's something that people throw away, bad things or negative things there, and nail it so that the thing just stuck there, don't go anywhere. Also, they might also throw in the bottle and throw it at the sea lah. So when you see bottles with stuff inside, don't open it lah. Yeah. Then I remember one of my friend, this lady, we went to the near to the beach area. That timing about 6 plus before we decided like, okay, let's go off lah, let's go makan lah. Nearby is the Changi village, right? And then she was like just continue to sit, and the fact that she got a very long hair, she kind of like humming and play with her hair. So I know there's something wrong with her, but we are not that close, so I'm not the best person to even talk to her lah. So I told her friends, I said that you wanna call her that we're going makan already. Then yep, we sit together at Changi Village. We order food except for her because she continued to play with her hair. I was like, this girl something wrong. She don't even want to eat, don't want to drink. She's not herself, and I can't figure out what happened to her.
Slap the face.
So since she continued to maintain that character for some reason, until past 8 like we finished eating and she continued to do that, and she looked at us, she just smiled with a creepy eye. She doesn't say anything to us, not even a word. I said, okay lah, maybe something happened at the beach area and kind of got into her. So my bosses, we all bring her at the back of the Changi village, where there's less people. So my bosses try to play like ustad role. I felt lah, try to treat her in a way, by they took onion or garlic. I don't remember what the hell they call it. Okay, maybe that time there's a lot of kedai-kedai runcit small stall, this and all this. And then they go and take it and put it on her food. Okay, especially then you can make apa? Toe. So there's a belief like you put at the toe and you put it against on the garlic or onion, remember, the thing you will trigger the thing to get out from your body, something like that. So they did that and they pray, they do some recites, and after some time, like after 30 minutes, she's her usual self, but she's a little bit weak. Yeah, and I thought like, okay lah, maybe that thing gone. Yeah, so then we say bye-bye lah. We go our separate way. And then the whole chunk of big group go the other way. Me and my other friend go the other way lah. We go home. But just eventually it doesn't stop there lah. So the thing kind of follow the big group home. Yeah, I was like lucky. I was like really, really lucky on that day. So when the thing follow some of my friend home, I remember one of my friend was staying at Marine Parade lah. That time she used to stay with her aunt. For up to 2 weeks, she told me that after 7 past 7, there will be noise or disturbance in the house. I don't remember exactly what noise or disturbance, but it's straight 2 weeks. And the poor thing is, her aunt is wheelchair bound and sick, and she got it a lot. Maybe because she's don't have enough strength or considered weak. The thing, even worse, the thing kacau her. And I think I don't know whether this thing travel around to my other friends, but this one is a bit more extreme lah, that she always kena. To the extent, um, the aunt passed away. But I wasn't. She fell from her bed or something. I think lah, because it's a donkey year story already. But we wasn't really sure. Is it because of the thing keep on disturbing her, or maybe as when it's the time to go, it's because of Ajal lah. Yeah. She got so upset about it lah, because uh knowing that this thing followed her back, and it for straight 2 weeks this thing kept on disturbing, to the extent that the aunt that she's close with passed away, and it really macam feel affected about it lah. I wasn't sure the rest of my friends how they are, but maybe they have a little bit disturbance here and there, but not as extremely happened to my this friend. Yeah. So yeah, it's quite extreme.
You remember the time where we went to Melbourne, and then I wanted to go for the what do you call the ghost tour, and then okay, eventually we went out. We four of us lah, me, Sab, her husband, and her sister-in-law. We went to Melbourne. So I'm the sort of person that I'm very scared of horror movie, but I'm still fine with it after that. I can sleep, and I'm kind of interested in this supernatural thing as well. Also, so I told the group, shall we go for ghost tour? Okay, we have a friend in Adelaide now, lah. Okay, so this friend of ours actually flew to Melbourne just to meet us, because it's been quite sometimes like it's been quite long we didn't meet her. So um, I just wanted to have some fun things going, doing some fun things. So okay, so everybody agreed to go for this ghost tour. So it happened that we have to go from places to places, and then the what do you call that? The tour guide, in a way, the tour guide will tell you like, no, this place, there's a girl that passed away. This person, there's a person, this person passed away because he was being he was a slave, so he was being murdered. And then this is a place where a king dies and whatever. So we went from places to places, and then this friend of ours, when we went from places to places, she was feeling quite nausea. So she actually wanted to vomit quite, I think around 2-3 times. And then the tour guide were like, she have these two things going on with her hand, and then she was like, okay, so she asked, there were like 20 of us, 20 participants, so she will be like asking, any of you want to ask some questions? So some of them will be asking like, are you here, where are you standing, and all the stuff. And then the thing is, the thing will turn, and it kept pointing to our friend, and then they have this, like, I think I don't know what they call. So if it turns green, if it turns orange, the thing is there. So there will be a participant that volunteered to hold this thing. So when she went around to all 20 of us, it was green. But when she went to our friend, it was orange. So orange indicates that the soul, the spirit is there. But then when we came back to our apartment, me and her sister-in-law didn't really felt anything. I guess we were too tired. So after we showered, we just slept. But you were saying that you heard some footsteps, right? When we came back.
Yep, true. Yeah, so there's a lot of noises when we came back. That one is being told by the tour guide, like when we're back, and if we experience something followed us or there's noises, just school the thing off. Say, don't follow me. Just be as furious as you can. Just be brave about it. So yeah. So I ignore lah. I ignore, and luckily because for me, I have my husband at my side, and I have my other friend is just outside our bedroom, because she's like living at the couch. But for her, like she sensed something like walking around the stair area or the kitchen, at our level. Yeah, but it doesn't really that extreme, or not an extreme disturbance. So it's just a presence. Then after that day, afterwards it was fine. So that, I think that was the first experience, having to feel angmo, hantu angmo. We always have the Asian encounter, right? So that one is the first encounter, because I also don't want to know more how they look like, or how, because looking at Annabelle story or the horror story from Hollywood is crazy. Yeah, I don't wanna see. The Asian context is enough really to scare us. Yeah. So talking about all this possess, uh magic there's white, there's black lah. But um if according to our beliefs or faith, it's just come back to prayers lah. um we shouldn't be looking at even white or black anymore lah. you know and if you ever feel offended, and then escalate it to take a revenge, I think hold it back and find way to bring it on the table or talk to that person directly lah, rather than doing this. They call it the soft way to do a revenge lah. It's a payback, but maybe the impact you don't see it now, but it will be asked then lah, hereafter lah. So that's something that we have to ponder lah. Yeah, and these practices, for I think for I don't know about Singapore or Malaysia context lah, because it's not really accessible to us to compare with the culture in Indonesia. They have the people who are always willing to teach them about all this, right? To get different type of magics or do something to other people. For in Singapore, I don't know. I think Singapore is really based on who is your generation. Hey, if your old grandmother or grandparents practices this, maybe it's you have that accessibility, or if you know is recommended by these people lah, who kind of very much involved in such community, and will tell you, jalan senang, pakai ni, aku jumpa dia ni, aku bawa kau, aku buat kau jumpa dia, nanti kau, there will always be an item you have to bring. Normally photograph lah, your picture, someone picture that you want this person to look into, and afterwards definitely there's certain fees or certain thing you have to bring lah, and when you go into that person house or place, it eventually will be dark, you know and I don't know how you feel, what you feel. I know that the intention is to do something to the other person, but when you go there, I felt that it's wrong. You enter darkness altogether. And the moment that you said yes to it, you want to proceed with it, the more you got into further darkness. And I don't know how you're gonna get out from there. So for me, it's like always take a step back and don't escalate things to the extent. Yeah. I'm really glad where we are now in Singapore, because we have our ways to vent our anger, or being just confront lah. It can be social media, it can through text or call or meet up, not the other way around lah. Not this in sense of we don't see into the 21st century. I believe there is a few left, but not as like encouraging kind of culture lah. Yeah. Oh, please. No, man.
But okay lah, like you say lah, I'm so glad that I'm in Singapore. Because even if I mean, the thing is why I said this. I mean, I think you also agree lah. The thing is why we say this is because um it's not that easy to access to all this black magic and all the stuff, here. I don't know if we have any, but it's not that easy lah. Unless if you're in Malaysia or you're in Indonesia or you're in Thailand, where those villages areas still exist, and then they actually have this practice going on back in I don't know where in their villages. So and then it's very accessible for the people to actually go over to the village and to get what they want, like for the woman they love, for the men they love, or to run people business or anything. So it's like it's an hour or 2 hours drive, or maybe I don't know, maybe it's an hour or 2 hours drive for you to go from city to city. Whereas when we are here in Singapore, we don't really, so far I don't really heard or know any people practice this black magic lah. So yeah lah, I think we are fortunate lah.
I think if there is also like a bopian kind of moment, because the generation is like you kind of have to take over the thing. We call that as sucker. Not SUCKER, SAKA people. Yeah. I think I have like close related who have it lah. Yeah. And I don't know how it was carried forward. or maintain it or ignore it. I don't know how to, because they did mention also like not necessarily it has to be physical takeover. The thing might go into your dream, and normally the disease or a person about to die will come in your dream to tell you that it's about time that you take over. So that and you agree or disagree in that dream. How are you gonna control things in your dream? So eventually it just passed through you. Yeah, so I think that was scary lah, because you don't have uh, a right or a choice at that point of time when it just go through that way. Yeah. Yeah, man. A lot of mysterious things happening around the world. And this is in Asian context lah. For also what we learn, what we know, what we witness, what we heard. When it comes to, I think strongly Asia have encountered a lot of it lah. Yeah. To what extent? I don't know. It's individual. And I think if you have the sixth sense, that's even something that you will have it quite frequent lah, unless you decided to let it go lah. There's a way. I mean, for me, I got it since young. I don't know what to call it. I just named it sixth sense. So I think at the age of, I remembered quite vividly, like I was 21 when I felt that. This was one incident that is super super extremely scary. And after the incident, I said that this thing have to stop because I don't want this to like continue in my life. I can't imagine that. Having the different phase, got over my adulthood, like I'm going to marriage and have kids, and if this continue for me to be able to see things so easy like that, how am I gonna live my life lah? So I just pray to God. I say that please help to remove this in my life. I don't want it anymore. And alhamdulillah, it happens. So I'm no longer as sensitive as I used to. I don't see things anymore. Maybe some sense lah, but not how it used to be. And I'm glad. Yeah. So those out there, um, firstly, don't be too overconfident that this thing doesn't exist, because it is. Because we know that God has created different makhluk as we all together, different things altogether in this world. And sometimes you can see, sometimes you don't at all. And it's not for you to judge, because you don't know. You don't know. If you learn, if you do a lot of readings, you will understand. Don't be overconfident. And also, on the same time, don't take advantage lah. You want to use these things for the wrong reason. Or if you think it's for the right reason, but for what? You are living your own world, your own, how to say, just live your life as it is. You don't want to deal with something that you don't know. That is like another dimension altogether. Why want to get yourself involved? Because you don't know how you're going to affect you and how it's going to impact your life. If it's not now, how about the hereafter? Just think along that line. And those who don't have sixth sense, don't ask for it. Don't ever, ever ask to have the third eye on your forehead. You don't want it. The moment you see, ooh, crazy man, don't. It's not like human. Okay, you see, human, we are not living with a different type of human race altogether. Human is human. Okay, if you're gonna see another creature, that's why they say we will never be prepared if alien gonna come down to the earth. So that's how it's gonna be, guys. I always see shows or this what you heard, but if this for real, if we're gonna be coming together from earth and another dimension, just imagine how it's gonna be lah. It's gonna be crazy, and don't drive yourself mad over this. Yeah. What's your take, Rao?
I think, like you said, don't be too overconfident. At the same time, don't. Okay, what people say is that you don't be too brave. At the same time, you don't be too scared. So, like for me, when I encounter things, I don't. Okay, I just say Alhamdulillah, I've never seen them. Okay, I've never seen them my whole life, and I don't want to. Okay, but there are times where I also heard like people harming when there's actually no one around me, or like I said in my in this video, there's like nenek kebayan at the shadow and all those stuff, there are no explanations for all this, and we know that all these are like the third the entity, or the third party in my life. So what I did is that, don't think about it too much, because at the same time it might actually lead you to uh, thinking nonsensical stuff lah. So just don't be too brave, at the same time don't be too scared, because if you are scared, the thing will be like macam, okay, this person iman tak kuat, so all the more I should like poke him or poke her, especially with all these things that doesn't have a master, bukan master PhD, bukan a master, tuan tuan. So they will tend to get in your body lah, and then for those who are too brave pula, nanti macam you won't get over it lah. You won't get over it. So try to not it's very easy for me to say, but stay calm. Stay calm lah. And we as orang Islam, inshallah all of us will be I pray for everyone, whether you are Muslim or Christian or whoever, we pray that I pray that we all have a peaceful life lah, with all these entities disturbing our family or ourselves, our business, so yeah.
Okay lah. So well wishes for all. Live in peace and prosperity. Be contented with whatever you have, so that you have a blissful life, or blessings from all people and God itself. Okay. So that's all from us. Thank you very much for staying through. And yeah, bye people.
See you.